What is the worst movie you've ever seen? No, I'm not talking about Grown Ups 2 or Transformers 2. I mean a movie so bad, so fundamentally broken, that it leaves a pit in your stomach or makes you feel frustrated and angry beyond any reasonable measure. This is a question I've been asking myself for a while, and I think it's about time to do something about it. So I've pulled up the list of the bottom 100 lowest rated movies on IMDb, and I'm going through them one by one to find the worst movie ever. Welcome to the search for the worst. Bionicle Mask of Light isn't really the worst thing in the history of anything ever. Like, at all. I'd seen clips and scenes on YouTube and thought, wow, this looks fucking awful. And it's not like I've never seen the movie before. In fact, when I was a kid, I might have been the biggest fanboy of Bionicle on the planet. But something in my mind kind of made me assume that this movie was an abhorrent mess. I hadn't actually seen this picture for over 10 years. So how does it hold up? Weirdly well, considering. So the movie starts with a surprisingly effective exposition scene where we get some kind of context into what the hell this Bionicle universe is all about. It's the basic idea of the light against the dark, easy to follow baddie versus goodie stuff.
Makuta was jealous of these honors and betrayed him, casting a spell over Mata Nui, who fell into a deep slumber.
So once that's over, we're introduced to our two main characters, the yellow one and the blue one. Immediately you'll notice that they're kind of cheating with this movie. And by cheating, I mean the only thing that kind of resembles Bionicles at all are the characters. Meaning that all the scenery, backgrounds, and even things like animals or rucksacks are made of what seem to be natural material. Look, it's just like a castle with a bridge. Why can't you just make it made out of Bionicle? It doesn't really bother me that much, but there's just a tad of visual clash when you have super advanced sentient robots exploring through purely natural and ancient looking scenery.
Takua!
This character might be the worst thing since I discovered heroin, because he has the worst voice acting I've ever heard.
What are you doing down here alone? We're supposed to be at the Coley match? Oh. Takua!
Why is he so American? Is there a reason for it? No one else has a voice that obnoxious. So this is the blue one. He jumps across some lava to find some old relic rock thing, which winds up falling into the lava to reveal the Mask of MacGuffin. It's not a particularly egregious use of a convenient MacGuffin, but it's the Bionicle movie. I don't care. Because our attention spans can't focus on anything for longer than 10 seconds, a huge flow of lava comes crashing into the scene, and along with it, the red Bionicle, who uses his lava surfing skills to save the blue one. Wait, why does his mask like wiggle? That always bothered me. Like with the air, I thought they were made out of plastic. His like cheeks are wiggling like he's made out of skin. It's kind of bizarre. Physics, everybody! Once they're safe, the yellow and blue one run off to get ready for some kind of sports match they call Coley or something. The entire scene doesn't really have much of a point, despite providing the setup to how the good guy beats the bad guy at the very end. But it happens. When they finish playing, the Mask of MacGuffin falls out of the golden one's backpack. Which leads to the elders telling them about the Chosen One, the prophecy, yada yada yada, you know the drill.
This is the great Kanohi Mask of Light.
Although there is one slight little detail that makes this whole Chosen One thing slightly more interesting, I guess. Everyone in the movie seems to think that the yellow one is the Chosen One, when we, as the audience, know that actually the real Chosen One is the blue one.
Oh, thanks. I'll take any help I can, give to Jala for his quest. The one that's his, that is.
It doesn't really have any importance to anything that happens later, but I guess it's something. Next up is the proper introduction to our villain, the big baddie one. He pulls a bunch of worms out of his body, then makes 6 worm creature Bionicles that go on a hunt for the mask. So with the counsel and knowledge of the wise old man with a staff, the two mini Bionicle best friends get ready to carry a MacGuffin on a journey that spans their entire fictional world. Wait, wise old man with a staff? 2 mini people best friends, a MacGuffin, a bunch of creatures that represent the boss bad guy that are hunting the main characters. This is Lord of the Rings for babies. I really don't know if this was intentional at all, or a completely crazy coincidence, but this movie has so many elements that mimic Tolkien's epic. And despite all the things I just mentioned, there's also the intro exposition scene that was added late in production. The main characters coming across a frozen bunch of creatures from long ago.
What could do this to them?
Defending a castle like Helm's Deep, and the soundtrack is also disturbingly similar. It did come out in 2003, the same year as Return of the King. I'm not saying they ripped off Lord of the Rings, but they totally ripped off Lord of the Rings. So from now, the movie kind of turns into a repetitive set of scenes that are all identical. Yellow and blue Bionicles show up at a new location. There is some kind of action scene involving one or more of the main Bionicles. Then they escape. Then repeat. My least favorite of the main Bionicles is the green one.
Where did you learn to bear fight like that, little one?
He's like this weird hippie who talks like he's a particularly stupid child trapped in the body of a fully grown Bionicle.
Walk? Ha! Not never. If you ride with me, there'll be no foot walking. Just air flying!
Wait, do Bionicles grow? They do have seemingly natural biology to them. They have their weird little blue six-pack things. He walks like he shit his pants, look at him. He's got like a six-pack that's really wiggling about, that's weird.
It will be full of Jala's brave deeds.
I never really understood why they decided to stylize the Bionicles so heavily that they barely even look like Bionicles anymore. Wait, no, I actually do. Despite how much I'd rather be watching a movie where it was a bunch of the awkward, stiff-looking plastic toys interacting with each other, you can't really show expression or connect emotionally with something that looks like this. So once they finish showing you, oh, it's that green Bionicle that I have. Oh, and the white Bionicle that I have. They wind up in a scary cave, where the blue one has a mid-journey crisis because the yellow one's voice is so annoying.
What?
Then the ghost of the boss bad guy spends about 5 minutes trying to convince the blue one to betray his friend and give the Mask of MacGuffin to him instead. Kind of like the whole conflict that Gollum's character is built around. Huh. Weird, but it ultimately has no point, and was only in the movie to pad out the running time a bit. Then the blue one goes to the rock place, which gets attacked. The main Bionicles have a fight. Then he escapes and makes up with the yellow one again. How cute. Meanwhile, because they had some more time to fill, the red Bionicle gets infected by one of the Nazgul. Rakshi. And has a fight. But then they manage to hold him down and turn him back into a goodie. Fist bumps all around. You know, these normal Bionicles are cool and all, but where's my Paraka movie? This picture isn't desperately trying to remain relevant to a bunch of grown-up kids who don't care anymore enough for me.
Yo, Paraka. Yo, Paraka. The king on the loose, nothing you can do. The beast on the move, bully coming through.
Okay, maybe I don't want that.
Paraka, go Paraka. Paraka, go Paraka. Paraka, go Paraka.
So finally the main characters arrive at a place. Wait, what are they doing? Why are they on this journey again? I haven't really been paying attention. I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Yo, Paraka.
But I guess it doesn't matter, because fight! Now instead of having their asses kicked, like what happens in every single scene before this, the 6 big Bionicles finally work together as a team to beat the Ring Wraiths. But because they're all too busy celebrating over their recent victory by fist bumping and singing a Paraka rap,
Yo, Paraka.
One of the Rakshi corners the yellow and blue ones, and the yellow one sacrifices himself to save the blue one. What a shame. What a complete shame we'll never have to hear his voice ever again. This causes the blue one to heroically put on the Mask of MacGuffin, which morphs him into the 7th Guardian, the Tower of Light, who proceeds to tear off his friend's face, then mount it to the front of some kind of vehicle and drive to the main bad guy's lair to finish this once and for all. Except for the 3 sequels, which progressively got worse. So the final confrontation is about to go down, the thrilling conclusion that will decide the fate of the entire Bionicle world. And they decide to play that boring ball game they did at the beginning.
A simple game of Coley. Win, and you may try to open the gate.
That totally doesn't deflate the entire scene. Luckily though, after a bunch of Bionicle people decide to come into the depths to watch them play sports for some reason,
An audience gathers for your final failure tour of light.
the golden one brutally tears the face right off the bad guy, and they topple into a pool of liquid, which morphs them into a super Bionicle that has the best parts of both of them, and they use their brute strength to open a big door for everyone to get out. Then the door crushes it and it dies. But unfortunately not before it brings the annoying American blue one back to life. God damn it. So to round things off, because it's a kids movie and death has to be meaningless, they bring the Golden Freddy back to life and peace is restored until the sequel. Now as far as cheap animated kids movies go, this one really isn't that bad. I've been harping on and nitpicking a lot of the things this movie does, because that's what I do. But all in all, it was actually kind of a pleasure to sit through this again. It's not particularly special, unique, or have anything very original about it.
Back off!
But as a movie, it's perfectly acceptable. Even the side characters have little mini arcs and stories of their own. It's weirdly charming. Before going into this, I think part of me wanted to hate this movie purely because it was such a significant part of my childhood. And by disowning it, it would somehow represent my matured level of taste. But I have to be fair, and it's not a bad movie at all. And for these reasons, I'm gonna put my foot down and say that this movie does not belong in the search for the worst ranking list at all. This was a fun experiment to delve back into something I used to really care about to see if it holds up, to return to with a critical eye. And I'm not blinded by nostalgia on this. I'm not saying this is a great movie. I'm not even saying it's a particularly good movie. It's just definitely not one of the worst. It would be a disservice to the series to pointlessly cram it in the ranking list. And up next in the search for the worst is... It never ends. It never ends! So those are my thoughts on the Bionicle movie. Did you see that one coming? Because I didn't. If you want to see my genuine reaction to me watching this, make sure you check out the Trying to Watch of this episode. It's like the partner series that fits with it. There should be a link here in the description if you're interested. I had even more to say with this one, it's quite a long one. So what did you think? Did you like or dislike the episode? What's been your favourite episode so far? Well, how about you just tell me how your day was in the comments below? And as always, thanks for watching. All comments and ratings are very much appreciated. Make sure you check out some of my other videos and other channels Jar Media for more craziness. I'll see you next time. Bye.